Testing, testing. Salakia, one moment, Israel. Salakia, one moment, Israel. All right, looks like we're good to go. All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabrakah. My sisters, Yahweh Shema, Ilthah Bashem, Yahweh Shah. This is Thursday class. I'm Priest Officer Kwam Guam. This is the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We've been bringing out this truth since 1969. Of course, we teach that blacks, Hispanics, First Nation men and women are the real Jews that the Bible speaks about, the chosen people of the Most High God. So today, we're going to talk about some current events here in Pittsburgh, current events in general, get into some Brotherhood scriptures. All right, as always, we'll do some scripture review. So one of the first things I want to pull up is let me see here. Okay, so here in Pittsburgh, they're talking about a proposal that would change the stop and frisk policy. All right, and of course we know that the reason why they will be doing this is because there's been a outrageous number of blacks, Latinos, First Nation man and woman, that's been suffering from, abuse, brutality from the police, all types of murders against our people. When I say our people, I mean, of course, the real, Jews, blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman, the children of the Most High God. So, there's been a cry out here in Pittsburgh for some for relief from this oppression that we've been facing. I mean, ultimately, it never changes and never cease to exist. We had just been elected a black mayor a little while ago, so we have our first black mayor ever, Mayor Ed Gainey, who's like from the I believe the Homewood area, which is on the east side of Pittsburgh, not too far away from where I grew up at. But so, given the situation with Antoine Rose Jr., the repetitive oppression that blacks have been facing all over the globe, all over America, and here in Pittsburgh, they want to pretend like they want to, do something about the oppression that we are facing. So of course, we get a black mayor. They want to change policy and whatnot for police officers, but ultimately, these things have been going on with Israel, and I mean Israel, blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman for a long time, for thousands of years, hundreds of years here in America, over 400 years here in America. And no matter what law they put in place, no matter who's in office, no matter what so-called black man, a so-called African American man rises to some type of rank or power in the structure, it never changes. It never changes for us. Okay, so I'm gonna read this little article on this so-called policy that they're proposing. All right. Okay, so this is from of course CBS News here in Pittsburgh. It says Pittsburgh City Council proposal would change police stop and frisk policy. First of all, before I get that, I want to get you familiar with the stop and frisk policy. All right, so this goes all the way back to about I believe 19, not all the way back, but some time ago, 1968 in Ohio. Okay, it says okay, was a landmark decision of the Supreme Court of the United States in which the court ruled that it is not unconstitutional for American police to stop and frisk a person they reasonably suspect to be armed and involved in a crime. So, being a black, Hispanic, First Nation man and woman, you know what this is touching on right here. So basically, this goes into racial profiling. Okay, so it's okay for a devil, the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks about, to stop, harass a black man, a black woman, which ultimately leads into, some type of brutality or something fatal, to our people. And this has been going on for, a long time now. We see like I said, what happened here recently with Antoine Rose Jr., with that devil Michael Rossfield. You see what happened in Minnesota with our brother George Floyd, that devil George Chauvin, whatever his name is. And this is something that continues to go on. I mean, there's this countless number of our people that's been murdered and slaughtered by this damn devil. So hold on, let's see here. Okay, so it's also called a Terry stop. So I'm pretty sure it's called Terry versus Ohio, basically. So it was somebody with the last name Terry, uh, went through this situation. Okay, so and they call it a Terry stop or stop and frisk. So it says a Terry stop is another name for a stop and frisk. The name was generated from the U.S. Supreme Court case Terry versus Ohio. Okay, so that's where the stop and frisk comes from. Now I'm gonna catch you up to date. There was something that happened in 2013 in New York. So it says in Floyd versus City of New York, decided on August 12, 2013, U.S. District Court Judge Shira Shinlin ruled that stop and frisk had been used in an unconstitutional manner and directed the police to adopt a written policy to specify where such stops are authorized. Okay, so basically a bad situation where, there was a crowd for some justice because, you know, somebody's rights was, violated or whatnot. And, the police always use, some type of force that was just uncalled for. Of course, when it comes to blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation man and woman, especially. But so this is where it starts at. Okay, so we're going to jump back into the Pittsburgh situation here. Okay. So, okay, I'm reading this article. Pittsburgh City Council proposal would change police stop and frisk policy. Now, remember, Pittsburgh is one of the places that's been catching the most heat as far as this, this treatment of blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman. We've been since the Antoine Rose situation. We had to elected a new mayor, Ed Gainey, a black man, so-called African American man. So we're, they're trying to act like they want to make some changes here because with the whole black mayor thing and everything. And understand that if you're not familiar with Pittsburgh is a very white dominated city. It's very old people, old white people. Okay, they own a lot here. They make all the major decisions here. The children are the heirs of their abundance that they have created off the backs of our ancestors. So this is a very racial profile type of town, and and the so-called white man dominates here. In the court system, the police, school systems, every type of system there is. All right. So okay, so this article is from CBS. Hundreds of local Pittsburgh police officers may soon be following new rules as Pittsburgh City Council looks at adjusting the stop and frisk policy. Now, remember, we talked about the stop and frisk policy, which is also called the Terry stop. The bill was proposed in January and has been discussed for months with months from some city council members saying with what is happening lately when it comes to public safety and policing, it's time to move the bill forward. Okay, so public safety and policing. Okay, so we have a serious problem here in Pittsburgh with the safety of blacks, Hispanics, First Nation men and women, and the policing. The relationship here is a very bad one. It's always been a very bad relationship between the two. I've had my personal experiences with it as well, and I know many other brothers and sisters that can say the same thing. But like I said, the Antoine Rose Jr. Situation was a very bad situation. It might have been the worst situation we've had here in Pittsburgh. And if you don't know, if you're not up to date on that situation, Antoine Rose Jr. was a young, I think, believe 15 or 16-year-old black male who was running away from a police officer. He ran out of the police vehicle, ran away from the vehicle, and the devil Michael Rossville shot him in the back numerous times and killed the young man. And he also got off the charges. He beat the charges, and he's walking around like the devil he is today. So that's the situation with that. Okay, it says the bill was proposed in January and has been discussed for months, with some city council members saying, with what is happening lately when it comes to public safety and policing, it's time to move the bill forward. Okay, so obviously the safety here for blacks, there is no safety for us. Okay, there is no safety. It's like the scripture says that our people perish from a lack of knowledge, and the fact that our oppressor, our enemy, rules over us. It's not a good situation for us. City Council has given preliminary approval to create a mandate to require police officers to document why they believe they have a reasonable suspicion to stop a pedestrian without a warrant. Okay, so obviously these police have been stopping brothers and sisters, for no reason at all. They'll make up something. well, you look like somebody, there was a crime in the area and you look like the person that fits the description. These type of things they make up. It's happened to me. It's happened to me a number of years ago. So this is the type of thing that happens to us. Okay, so they'll say that, you fit the description, and they give them a reason to, harass you, beat you down, and also, take you out, or they'll murder you. The devil, that's what he does. That's what the devil do. He'll murder you right here for the world to see, broad daylight, and beat the charges. City Council has given preliminary approval to create a mandate to require police officers to document why they believe they have a reasonable suspicion to stop a pedestrian without a warrant. The final passage of the bill is contingent on the approval of a proposed amendment from Pittsburgh Public Safety that would change the language of the bill. That change would allow officers to verbally tell the person what led to the stop and give them a police report that would explain the reasonable suspicion. Okay, so basically what they're saying is, they're going to, still harass a brother or a sister and then basically tell them the reason why they're being harassed. So that change would allow officers to verbally tell the person what led to the stop and give them a police report that would explain the reasonable suspicion. Right now, the bill says that if an arrest does not take place, the officer has to provide the pedestrian with written documentation of why the stop occurred. So if the person is not being arrested, they have to, they're supposed to, provide something that says why they're, being stopped or searched or, whatever's going on. But I guess if they're arrested, they don't have to say anything. They could just arrest you and, there's nothing that they have to say. All right. The hope is the bill will reduce racial disparities in the way Pittsburgh police interact with residents. Okay, so they make that a broad statement when they say Pittsburgh police interact with residents. Pittsburgh police have no problem interacting with, the so-called white man, white woman, so-called Africans or Arabs or any other nationality. The only people they have a problem with is Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women. That's what it's talking about when it says residents. But of course, they're not going to print that in the paper or print that, for everyone to, for the people who don't know, the lost brothers and sisters, they won't pick up on that. But the hope is the bill will reduce racial disparities in the way Pittsburgh police interact with residents. Before the council can take a final vote on the bill, the amendment has to be considered by the council. Okay, so before they can even, take any action towards this, trying to pass this bill, they have to consider, the amendment that, basically that they can just do whatever the hell they want to do to you. The white man is all powerful, almighty, and he can just do whatever he wants to do with it with any Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, First Nation man or woman. That's basically what's going on with that. So again, let me pull a couple of scriptures of the precepts for that. Okay, so all right. So let me get Psalms 58:3 first. Let's go to Psalms 58:3. All right. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. I read that again. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay. So let me first I want to get the definition of estranged. Okay. You may know the definition, but again, I always like to, get the exact definition so I can break it down properly for those who might not know. All right. Okay, so estranged. This is the Webster's dictionary version. Having lost former closeness and affection in a state of alienation from a previous close or familial relationship. So this is the damn devil to a T. I'll read that again. Having lost former closeness and affection in a state of alienation from a previous close or familial relationship. So the wicked, the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks about, he comes out of the womb, feeling estranged, feeling like, he has no affection for anything. If that doesn't describe your police systems in every, city, borough, state, county, whatever, that is how they feel towards Blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman. They have no mercy on us, no mercy. They don't feel any, closeness, they don't have no care for the lives of Blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman. So this is exactly who that's talking about. Okay, so again, the wicked are estranged from the womb. So Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, There's no saving this devil. There's no trying to come together with this devil. It's not possible because the Most High says that the wicked are estranged from the womb. Okay, they go astray as soon as they be born. As soon as they come up, pop that head in them, that big damn head and red fur of them out of the womb, they go astray as soon as they come out. They're wicked from day one. There's no saving them. And I'm sorry to tell you, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman, if you're in the world, you're in a Christian church, yes, you know what I mean. You know, the white man cannot be saved. Okay, I know that's what you want. I know that's what you know, brothers and sisters in the world want. They want to figure out a way to get the white man in the kingdom too. But like the scriptures say in Psalms 58:3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. What type of lies uh, do the wicked speak? You know, Jesus Christ is a white man, right? They give you the picture or the image of Caesar Borgia, right? As Jesus as a white man, right? That's a lie. What's another lie that they speak? The Jews are white. That's another damn lie. It's clear in the Bible that it says that the Jews are black. Judah mourneth, and the gates stir up language. They are black unto the ground. Jeremiah 14:2. So that's another lie. Okay. Yeah. There's many lies that they speak and many things that they say and let you know that they are the wicked. So again, Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay. So and that boils down to what you see today here in America, your police system. You know, the white man in all shapes, forms, wherever he's at, wherever he may be, wherever he resides, he's a liar. Okay. He's estranged from the womb. Okay. He's born that way. There's no saving him, black man, black woman. There's no saving the white man. Okay. So when you're on your job, you're at your slavery, you know, you're putting in that 8-hour shift or that 16-hour shift or that 10-hour shift, and you got, Jeffy on the job or Susie Q on the job, and they seem to be cool, and they got, black friends, and you know what I mean? They might have black children, you know what I mean? Whatever they want to tell you, remember that the wicked are estranged from the womb. They are always going to be wicked, okay? They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, okay? So the scripture is letting you know clearly who the wicked is and how to deal with them and how to protect yourself from them. Okay, of course, you know that keeping the Most High's law, statutes, and commands, and getting the knowledge of your God is the ultimate way to defeat the oppressor. And where do you learn that at? Of course, and I actually became the commanding general Yohana. Okay, that's the only place you're going to learn that at. All right. So pull up. So let me get one more. All right. Okay. Now, how we're talking about that situation with the police and everything, and just running into that, the white man who's the devil that the Bible speaks about, who is our enemy, our adversary, because the scriptures clearly says that. I'm gonna pull the scripture here, Matthew 5:25. All right, and this is for, of course, blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman only. So, when you go about your day and you come into contact with these devils, you got to understand something. You need to know something, all right, for your protection. And here it is, Matthew 5:25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Okay, so black man, listen to this. I'll read this again to you, black man. Matthew 5:25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Okay, so black man, if you're out there committing crimes and whatnot, or if you even committed crimes, so you get pulled over by the police, okay, recognize that is your adversary that just pulled you over. If it's a white man, you know what I mean? If he pulls you over, a white woman, they pull you over, recognize quickly that is your adversary, your enemy. This is according to the Bible, according to the Most High God, okay? Agree with thine adversary quickly. Okay, so white man pulls you over. Remember, this is a white man who he has no feeling, no compassion for humanity. He's estranged from the womb. He just got his job. He's been in training for 3 months, and they put him out in the street with a loaded gun. More than one gun. He got a license to kill, right? And this man pulls you over. This white woman pulls you over. It says, agree with thine adversary quickly. So the white man says, turn your vehicle off. Turn your vehicle off. Any firearms in the car, sir, or any firearms in the car. Officer, I do have a firearm. It's in the glove department, and I have a license to carry. Okay, this is if you obviously have a license for these things, or this situation applies to you. But basically, what I'm telling you is, agree with that adversary. Turn your vehicle off. Turn your vehicle off. He asked for registration, proof of insurance, registration, license. Officer, my proof of my insurance, my registration is in my glove compartment. Is it okay if I get it? Okay, that's agreeing with your adversary, because this devil has the power to harm you right now. He can. I mean, we've seen this over and over again. He'll make up a lie and say, like it says, he speaks lies. He'll make up a lie and say you reach for something, shoot you down. You know what I mean? Beat the case and just get sent to another precinct and still keep his job. You know what I mean? So agree with that adversary while you're in contact with him. Okay. So just do what he tells you to do. You know what I mean? Don't make any sudden moves. Don't speak to him any kind of, negative way or angrily, because what your ultimate goal is, don't be, first of all, like the men above me say so much, don't be afraid to go to prison. Okay. Because it's better to go to prison and deal with the situation later than to be murdered and then you're dead. Okay. You're not alive at all anymore. So agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him. At least at any time the adversary delivered to the judge. So you get arrested. And he does what? Takes you to jail, books you, right? And then eventually you got to go see who? The judge, right? Okay, now you got to go see another white man, another oppressor. Okay. And of course, they're all friends, they're on cohorts, the judge, the policeman, their attorneys, the lawyers and whatnot. Okay, so you got to see another white man. Okay, you got a white man defending you, right? So you're just in a triangular, situation of defeat, basically looking at you right in the eyes, because you're dealing with the oppressor on all sides of the spectrum. All right, so agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him. At least at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer. So once he brings you into the courtroom and deliver you to the judge, once the judge lay that final sits down on you, he does what? Give you back to the officer, back to the white man again. Okay. And thou be cast into prison. Okay, there you go. So once all said and done, you end up in prison, black man. So this is why, if you are a Black, Hispanic, First Nation man and woman, and you're riding around in these streets, walking around these streets, with all you want all the smoke, you're selling drugs to your own people, you're carrying illegal firearms, causing harm to people. You have to worry about this Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. This is what you have to worry about. Okay. So that's why the scripture is perfect for these situations. Matthew 5:25. Again, agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him. At least at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and now be cast into prison. So either way, you're going to face these devils. Okay, you're going to face these devils, and then you're going to have to face another devil after you deal with that situation, and then another devil, and then ultimately you'll end up in prison. Okay, which is you'll be with more devils. I mean, you'll be with your own kind mostly, because that's who fills the jail cells, but then you got devils ruling over you. Okay, so it's just not a good situation. All right, it's not a good situation. So agree with thine adversary, that enemy, whilst thou art in the way with him. Okay, you come across this white man, the police officer pull you over. Some white man, some damn rednecks, run up on you with some rifles or something like that. You got to be smart about this, okay? Because he's a killer. He is a killer. The oppressor is a killer. He's definitely a killer. He's been blessed with the sword. Let's get one more then. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's get Obadiah 1 and 10. The book of Obadiah 1 and 10. Chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Say that again, Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So who's this talking to? This is talking to Esau, Edom. All right. Edom is a so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks about. Okay. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay. So the Edomites have committed violence over and over again for centuries, thousands of years against the Israelites. Okay. We're the children of Jacob. We are the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So for everything that this white man has done to us, Blacks, Hispanics, First Nation man and woman, shame is going to come to them. Just like the shame that we face today, the shame of being in the ghetto, the projects, being in hunger, being number one in every, plague, disease, sisters being single parent mothers, brothers, not being able to see their children, brothers going to jail. These are all shameful things. Child support, that's a shameful thing. Okay. These are shameful things, but the Most High is saying that for the violence against us, for Edom's violence against us, the white man's violence against the children of Israel, shame will cover thee, and they shall be cut off forever. So there's going to come a time, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, or woman, that they are going to be shamed, and they're going to face the same things that we have faced for over centuries, okay, for years, for thousands of years, hundreds of years here in America. Okay, so there comes a time when they are going to face what we are facing. What we need to do in the meantime is serve the Most High God, Yahweh. Okay, that's what we need to do. Get into these laws, statutes, and commands. Okay, and again, the ISUPK and the commanding General Yohana is how you get into that. Okay, the Christian church, we know, certainly does not give you the answers for that. The Muslim mosque certainly doesn't. Okay, no Hotep community stuff, nothing. The ISUPK and the commanding General Yohana. Log in, www.isupk.com. Also, don't forget to pay your tithes. Okay, support this truth. All right. So once again, Obadiah 1:10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So the white man's going to be cut off forever, okay, for oppressing and being violent toward the children of Israel, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. All right. So let me get another one of these articles here. Okay. Okay. So this one says, this is Pittsburgh news. 2 incidents in Hempfield area. Okay. 2 incidents in Hempfield area school district being investigated by state police. Hempfield is more like a so-called Caucasian, neighborhood and town or whatever, and it's like towards Greensburg or whatever. I mean, there's brothers and sisters there too, but so it says 2 incidents in Hempfield area school district being investigated by police. Now, of course, this is going into what you see today that's going on all over the world. You see these mass shootings. We had the mass shooting in Buffalo. The other one more recently, Slovakia. I can't remember the exact place. I can't remember, but we've had these mass shootings all over Texas, I believe it was. Okay, so now remember that the spirit of America breeds, violence. It breeds selfishness. It breeds murder, because that's what America was built on. If you look at what happened, with the First Nation man and woman, the so-called Indians, the nation of Israel, they were murdered and massacred by the devil, the white man, the devil that the Bible speaks about. Okay. So the whole American concept, the whole American philosophy, everything is built on murder, taking things that doesn't belong to them, destroying the image of a people, stealing the image of a people. That's what America is all about. Okay. So, and again, that breeds that how do you say, that spirit comes on the devil's children. Okay. Sometimes it even hits our children, because, we grow up in situations where we idolize and look up to the devil, to the white man, and we take on his customs, we take on his beliefs, we take on his actions, we act like him, we become beastly like him. Okay, so this is a situation where this is going on in a lot of schools here in Pittsburgh and all over America. Okay, so it says Greensburg, PA. State police are investigating 2 incidents that occurred Thursday morning at a Westmoreland County school district. Hempfield Area School District Superintendent Tammy Walicki told parents in a letter that all schools are operating as normal after the incidents. The first involved a student at the high school. Walicki told parents that an unnamed student was wearing a gas mask on a school bus. Okay. The district became aware of a social media post of the student wearing the gas mask that included text of a threat to the school. The student was removed from the school property. Okay, so here we go. You see that? Now, this is probably some damn devil, some oppressor, you know what I mean, or the oppressor's children. And, first sign, he's on a goddamn school bus with a gas mask on. That right there should make your antennas go up right there. Okay, so if you're a brother or your sister and you see something like this, you need to watch out. You need to look out. I wouldn't be going to school for the next week. I would make sure that damn devil was not, attending school. After you see what happened, with the Buffalo, New York situation, and just the white man all over just in America for centuries, for thousands, hundreds of years, you should know that, that's a red flag, okay, as they so-called say. Okay, so this devil, put on a gas mask and got on a school bus, and then he's making social media threats. You know what I mean? And these things need to be taken serious. Okay, and remember what the scripture said about it before. The wicked are estranged from the womb. Okay, so they come out that way, out the womb, and not only that, you got America poisoning, even poisoning even more the children in America. You know what I mean? With this television, is radio agenda, the Christian church, you know, it's drugs. You know what I mean? These type of things is what create these monsters. And like again, remember the devil is a monster from day one. Okay, now it happens to us because we are trying to be like them. You understand? Not knowing who we are, not knowing our true identity, we have become like them. So that's why it's happening to us. But in its originality, that is who the white man is. That's not who you are, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman. That's not who we are. Okay. So the second incident saw a former student walking toward the high school while wearing a hot dog costume along with a wig and face paint. Walicki said the high school, Harold and Fort Allen schools were put on lockdown as school police apprehended the student. The district is not aware of any threat posed to the school by the second incident, she said. School officials are gathering more information on both situations, and Walicki said they will continue to work with state police. Okay, so it's two incidents in the Greensburg area where, some damn devils, walking around here, looking crazy, acting crazy, and they need to be treated like they're crazy, just like the crazy damn devil that, did that in the Buffalo, New York shooting. But again, the wicked are estranged from the womb. Okay, the devil, he's a murderer. He's been blessed with the sword. Okay, let me pull that scripture. Let me get that scripture so you can be familiar with your adversary, the devil. Okay, because there's in America, nobody can believe unless you're in the truth. Nobody can believe that this devil, this white man, is the oppressor, the one that's doing all the wickedness on earth. They see that white skin as a badge of of honor or something like that, or something that to be looked up to or to be worshipped. Because of white Jesus in the Christian church, and because of how the white man shines and rules over right now currently because the Most High allows it. But the white man ain't a damn thing. He's nothing. Okay. And we know in the truth that, he's nothing but a damn devil. And it's just a matter of time before the Most High God overthrows his rule. All right. So let me see if it's locked in. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We're going to go into the book of Genesis. All right. We're going to start at Genesis 27:38. All right. We're going to read down to 27:41. Okay. Genesis 27:38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Now this is after Jacob. Well, Esau had sold his birthright to Jacob, and also Jacob went in and got the blessing from the father. The mother had him dress up, put the hairs on him like Esau, and use cunningness to get that blessing, in which the Most High wanted us to get the blessing anyway. Okay, but Jacob and his mother was cunning enough to get the blessing, and then Esau, went up to his father Isaac and asked him for a blessing. He's pissed now. He's crying. He's weeping. All right. 27:39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of the heaven from above. Okay. So thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. So Isaac is telling him what his blessing is going to be. 27:40. Here we go. And by the sword shalt thou live. I read that again. Genesis 27:40. He's talking to Esau. Isaac is giving his son a blessing, and he's telling him, what's going to happen. Genesis 27:40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. Now understand this, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman. The white man, the devil that the Bible speaks about, the oppressor. It is in his blood to be estranged from the womb. It is in his blood to be a murderer. And that is the blessing that he received. He gets everything through and by murder, by taking it and by harming others. If you look at the history of the white man, the devil that the Bible speaks about, everything that he has amassed or gained is from lying, stealing, cheating, and taking from someone. That is your oppressor. And the Bible is telling you clearly that is what's going to happen. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Because remember, there was a time when the white man, was up in the caves in the Caucasus Mountains, living like the beast that he is, and we ruled over him. Okay, we put them in that situation. We separated them from us, put them up in their own filthy situation. But because of our disobedience to the Most High God and not keeping the law, statutes, and commands, not loving each other, he allowed these nations to rule over us. So these people who were ever reputed as nothing, as the scripture says, got civilized and became to be rulers over us, like today. So this is biblical. This is in the scriptures. Okay, this is in the scriptures. All right. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off their neck. 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. So the white man has a hate for the black man and black women. There's nothing that cannot be fixed. Okay, this cannot be fixed. This is biblical. This is in the Bible. The white man hates our people. So ain't no point in trying to love him. Ain't no point in trying to love her. You know what I mean? It can't work. Okay, it's not going to work. They hate us. Okay. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, which is his mind, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. You hear that? He said in his mind, in his heart, when his father is deceased, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother. Okay, so once Isaac, checks out of here, he planned on killing his brother. That is your white man. That is who he is. He is the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks about. That's what he's about, murder. Okay, he said he will slay Jacob. And what has he done? Did George Chauvin slay our brother George Floyd? Did Michael Rossfield slay Antoine Rose Jr.? I mean, there's so many more to name. I mean, this is clear. This is clear who the Bible's talking about. Okay, this is clear. Unless you just don't want to take it in, you just don't want to, believe it. You just want to love them, even though they're murderers. You want to just, show your love to them. All right. All right. Let me get something else here. Let me pull up another. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. There's an incident where, also just to jump back into that, where they tried to do the stop and frisk in the police situation. There was 3 men that was injured during the 2020 Pittsburgh protest here downtown because of that, the George Floyd situation. Our brother was murdered. So people were protesting. You had so-called, African Americans or, blacks, protesting. And there was also devils alongside protesting as well. 3 people were injured by the police. And so, they're suing the police and, trying to, get paid and trying to, put out there that the police, need to, conduct themselves better when it comes to, handling situations. I'll read a little bit about that. I'm not going to jump too deep into this, but this is just Pittsburgh news that's going on here. Salakia, one moment. All right. Okay, so this is I think it's Pittsburgh Tribune. 3 people who were injured by Pittsburgh police during the George Floyd protest in Pittsburgh 2 years ago are suing the city and the officers involved in federal court. Okay, it says Alexander Harrell said in a complaint filed Friday that he lost his right eye after he was struck by a projectile fired by police in May 30th, 2020. Gordon D. Brown said he lost 2 teeth after he was shot in the face with a less than lethal round. And Haddam M. Hassan said he suffered a displaced fracture to his hand when he was cornered in an alley by officers who fired rubber bullets at him. Okay, so basically, I'm not sure all of them are, I'm pretty sure all of them are not brothers or sisters, but I believe one of them was a brother. Another 2 might have been heathens. But the point is, these devils, the white man, the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks about, he's estranged from the womb. He only knows violence. He only knows murder. He only knows to harm other people. That's what he get paid. And then think about that. Not only can he do that, they legally give him a license to kill, and he gets paid to do it. You imagine any white woman turning that down. You just imagine, somebody comes to you, hey, listen, man, we'll give you such and such thousands a year. We'll give you a gun. You know what I mean? Give you, get you a patrol car. You know what I mean? And where do I sign up? You know what I mean? That's basically what you're going to see. Where do I sign up? I mean, that's what they do. That's what they do for a living. So of course they're going to sign up for that. All right. So let's get another one. Let's get So this is talking about Mayor Ed Gainey, who's a so-called, you know, African American man, but as we know, is a black man for the tribe of Judah, most likely. But so remember, we remember he's a new mayor elect. You know what I mean? We first Pittsburgh's ever first black mayor ever. Um, a lot of people are excited about that, which we know in the truth that it means nothing because he's going to answer to some white man above him or some white infrastructure above him. All right, so mayor state leaders call for more access to syringe stings during Prevent Point Pittsburgh visit. So a prevention point Pittsburgh visit. So what's happening is you got, and it's perfect that they choose a black man for this. So you got these white junkies out here, overdosing off of, fentanyl and cocaine and stuff like that. And remember, these are like white drugs, so-called white drugs, and we say in the hood. Okay, so you got all these white people, overdosing on drugs. So that becomes a problem here in Pittsburgh and in America. Why is that? Because now it ain't niggas dying, it's white man. It's the white man dying. Okay, that becomes a problem. So they build all types of, recovery centers and rehabilitation centers all over Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? To help, their golden white man. You know what I mean? And golden white woman. This is what they do. Now, when Ronald Reagan was dropping, crack in the hood in the '80s, there wasn't no rehabilitation centers for that. There wasn't no call for everybody come together, to save these dying, these decaying people. Of course, when it comes to the oppressor and his children, something has to be done about this. But forget about your crackhead uncle that's been on drugs since 1980. Forget about your crackhead mother. You know what I mean? Who's missing teeth in her mouth and is sick every day because of this these drugs that she's been taking for over 20 or 30 years. And, forget about the Army vets and Vietnam or Army and Navy vets and whatever, back in these neighborhoods in Homewood and sitting on the corners and they served in the military here in America and they have nothing to show for it. Forget about them people. But of course, when little white Katie and Jeffy, they get hooked on drugs, that becomes a problem. We can't have that here in Pittsburgh. So that's what's going on here. It says Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey joined PA Department of Health Acting Secretary Kiera Kleinpeter on a tour of Prevention Point Pittsburgh on February 3rd, calling for a change to state law on syringe access programs. Pennsylvania currently prohibits most syringe exchanges, like the Oakland harm reduction nonprofit they visited, and most of the Commonwealth. Here, listen to this. In Pennsylvania, we have the third highest rate of drug overdose deaths in the country and the ninth highest rate of new HIV infections, says Kleinpeter. We got to turn this around. That's why we need to use every tool in our disposal, and we need to work to expand access to programs such as syringe service across the Commonwealth. All right, so I'm not going to get too much in that. Basically, white people are dying from, drug overdoses, and, something has to be done about that. But when niggas was dying, or niggas dying, there's nothing that they don't give a damn about that. Just like the situation when our brothers, the Levite brothers, Haitians, were at the border, trying to flee from oppression in Haiti, and he's got down Joe Biden and this American government, went to handle that problem. You know what I mean? Vetoing our brothers, told them to go back to where they came from. But then, when the Afghans or whatever got into, or the Ukrainians get into a situation, they welcome them over here with open arms. The white man is a damn devil that the Bible speaks about. If you don't know that, you don't see that that's clear, I don't know what else, how else to convince you that that's what it is. But he is a damn devil that the Bible speaks about. Okay. All right, let's get back to some more scripture. All right, let's go to Ephesians 6:12. Ephesians 6:12. All right. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. I'll read that again. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay. So black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, the battle is not against your own. It's not against us. Even though we have been doing, we have been committing murders against each other. We have been, treating each other like we don't love each other. We have been doing all type of trespasses against each other. But at the end of the day, It's the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks about, is behind all of this. He is the author of all confusion against the Israelites. Okay, but against principalities, against powers. Black man, black woman, you don't got no damn power. Salakia, but we don't have no power. Who do you pay your rent to, black man, black woman? Who do you have to go when you go to the grocery store? Who owns that grocery store that you got to go shopping at? Okay. When you go to vote here in America, which is what you shouldn't do, because you should never put anyone above you that's not your people, or actually putting them above your Hawashai. But when you go to vote, who do you vote for? Isn't it a white man on the ballot? A white woman on the ballot? We don't have no damn power here. When you go into to face the judge, for child support, or you go to, you know what I mean? You're going through your prison system. Who do you have to answer to? The goddamn devil that the Bible speaks about. We don't have no power. So who could this be talking about? Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. The white man is the ruler right now. He's been put in power. He brings the darkness in this world. He's the one that puts his drugs in these communities. He's the one that puts his guns, in the black neighborhood for us to kill each other. Okay. His congregation, he's taken over the congregation, which is, the so-called church, or, spiritual matters. He's taken over that too. And he's poisoned, our so-called leaders, to lead us astray and to, lead us into damnation. So the white man is the author of all confusion. Okay. So he's the one that's committing the spiritual wickedness. Okay. And he's the one that has the power. He's the ruler. Okay. So for we wrestle not against Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and women. We need to understand, we need to realize who our enemy, who our adversary is. If you take a minute and stop, put the damn Madden down, put the weed down, Stop being a goddamn drunkard. Stop chasing whores, and stop eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Stop celebrating holidays. You'll be able to clearly see that it's the devil, the oppressor, the white man. That's who it is. Okay. It's clear. It's crystal clear. All right. Salakia. Let me get another scripture. One of my favorites. Isaiah 9:16. One of my favorites. I usually say it every week. Salakia. I say it every week. Isaiah 9:16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Okay. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. So think about this. We're talking about in a black community, your damn Christian pastor. That is the leader in the black community. He's probably the most prominent, leader in the black community. Then you got your drug dealers and, people with money and whatnot. And you got your celebrities, athletes and whatnot. But the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. So the white man has his strings on our leaders, so-called leaders. Okay, so the white man is behind him. Remember, I said the white man is the author of all confusion against the Israelites. But then he uses people of our own people, to rule over us and to oppress us and then make us walk in his way. And I say his way is, which is, the devil's way, the white man's way. He uses our leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King, so-called leaders like Malcolm X. There's so many others. And there's so many others that I can name. TD Jakes, TD Snakes, these different people. They are used for us to be sinners, and so that the white man can continue to dominate us. Because the white man knows that as long as we continue to not do the Most High God's law, statutes, and commands, it's open season on Israel. Okay, we have no protection from our God, and that's what he wants. He know that he cannot rule if we are keeping the law, statutes, and commands. The minute you put down the blunt, black man, black woman, the minute you stop eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, the minute you say no to that goddamn Christmas tree in your house, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman, that's when his kingdom goes down. The minute you begin to love your own people over everyone, over all the other heathen nations, and when I say your own people, the blacks, Hispanics, First Nation men and women, that's when we begin to rule again, and things begin to go right for us. Okay. All right. Let's get another one. Okay. And another thing I want to point out too is, you got damn drug dealers that's in amongst our people. You got damn homosexuals. That's what you are, because you're selling drugs to your own people. Causing our people to become zombies and a decay of flesh. You know what I mean? The walking dead, the walking lab. Walking dead. All right. So Let's get Deuteronomy 18:10. There should not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. A witch. A witch is a goddamn drug dealer. Not that what you see in these stupid Halloween commercials and stuff that the white man puts out there for you. But a witch is someone who sells drugs. You know what I mean? Pharmaceuticals. Okay. If you go back, the Greek word pharmaca. It's like it's basically dealing with potions and all types of things. But basically makes your drugs today. Makes our brothers and our sisters like zombies and not in the right mind, and they go and commit crimes against each other. And the Most High God turns his back to us because we're becoming addicts and not obeying his laws, statutes, commands. We're killing each other, harming each other, and the white man rules. You know what I mean? That's why we have to keep these laws, statutes, commands. We need to get into I should be carrying the commanding journal, Johanna. We need to learn what this Bible is talking about. We need to learn what these scriptures are talking about. Again, we have these classes Monday through Friday, 7 to 9. Here in Pittsburgh, we go from 5 to about 6:30. Okay, that's what we do here in Pittsburgh. We have camp speakings as well. Here right now, we're going like just a few times a month right now until we beef up camp here. But pretty much everywhere else we have camps Saturday, Friday, Saturday, street speakings in pretty much every city you can go to. We have high holy days. We came out of the Passover a few months back. We got something coming up recent in the near future. So again, support this truth. Get in the ISUPK. If you're a brother, become a trooper in the school. Go online. Support this truth. Pay your tithes. That's a law. That's in the Bible. Of course, your Christian pastor is not going to, tell you. Well, he wants you to pay tithes to him, but he's going to tell you the real law on tithes or whatever. But support this truth. Pay your tithes. You know what I mean? Get in this truth. Become a real brother or a sister. By getting into school. You know what I mean? Studying, learning under real priests and prophets of the Most High God. Okay. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom, Israel. Again, this is the ISUPK under commanding General Johanna. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Bringing you this truth since 1969. Shalom, Israel.